It was one of those damp November mornings in Manchester when the rain seems to have settled into the city for good. The buses hissed along Oxford Road, the pavements shone under the street lamps, and the air smelled faintly of wet concrete. Inside a small terraced house not far from the city center, David Collins sat at his kitchen table with a mug of tea growing cold in front of him. He wasn't looking at the tea. His eyes were fixed on a letter lying open on the table. David was 48 years old, a bus driver by trade, a creature of habit. His life had a steady rhythm: early mornings, long shifts, evenings spent with the television for company. He wasn't a man given to surprises. But this letter was not ordinary. It was from Emily, his daughter whom he hadn't seen in 5 long years. Back then, she had been just 19, full of ideas about moving to London to study art. David, a practical man who had spent his life behind the wheel, couldn't understand it. "Art doesn't pay the bills," he had said one night, his voice sharper than he intended. Emily had argued back, tears in her eyes, and in the heat of the moment, she packed her bags. The door slammed shut, and with it, their bond fractured. 5 years of silence followed. No calls, no visits, just absence. Now the silence had been broken. In the neat, careful handwriting he recognized instantly, she had written, "Dad, I don't know if you'll want to see me, but I'm back in Manchester next week. I'm having an exhibition at the art gallery. If you come, I'll be waiting." David read the lines again, his chest tightening. The words pulled at something deep inside him, a mixture of hope and regret. He wanted to go desperately, but pride whispered otherwise. "She walked out, not me," he told himself. The following days were restless. At the bus depot, his colleagues noticed he was quieter than usual. One evening, as they were finishing their shifts, Paul, his oldest mate, clapped him on the shoulder. "You look like a man with too much on his mind," Paul said. David shrugged. "It's complicated." "Life's always complicated," Paul replied. "But family, well, you only get one chance. Don't waste it." That night, David stood by the window of his small sitting room. Outside, the city glowed with its mix of office lights and takeaway signs. He thought of Emily as a little girl, sitting cross-legged on the carpet, drawing castles and skies with crayons. She would look up at him with that big grin, proud of every scribble. How had he ever thought her dreams were worthless? When the morning of the exhibition arrived, David could hardly steady his nerves. He put on his best coat, the one he'd worn at his wife's funeral, and made his way into town. The gallery was busy, filled with chatter and the soft echo of footsteps on polished floors. He walked through the rooms and then he saw it, a painting of a bus in the rain, headlights blurred by the drizzle, the driver a lonely figure at the wheel. His throat tightened. "Dad?" He turned. Emily was there, standing just a few feet away, her hair tied back, her eyes glistening. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then David found his voice, low and rough. "I'm sorry, love. I should have believed in you." Emily's face broke into tears as she rushed forward. She wrapped her arms around him, clinging tight as though afraid he might vanish. Visitors nearby turned their heads, but no one interrupted. "I've missed you so much," she whispered. David held her close. In that instant, the 5 years of silence dissolved. It didn't matter who was right or wrong. What mattered was that she was here, and she was his daughter. From that day forward, David never let pride stand between them again. He became her greatest supporter, attending exhibitions, sharing her achievements with anyone who would listen. And Emily, in turn, always said, "My dad gave me my second chance." The letter had not just invited him to a gallery, it had given him back his family. Moral: pride may win arguments, but it loses years. Love, once found again, is worth more than anything else.